I'd love to talk to you about labels. So, labels. All right. So tell me, Sri, what's your role?
In what?
In ThoughtWorks.
Dev.
You're dev. And what are you, Janae?
An analyst.
You're an analyst. Okay. Yeah, so those are some different roles that we have. And roles are kind of the main type of label that we have in ThoughtWorks, right? So we'll often talk about, I mean, that's how we identify each other, ourselves to each other. So someone comes up to me in ThoughtWorks and asks, oh, what do you do? I'll say, oh, I'm a dev. And you'll say an analyst, and so on and so forth. And we have a bunch of them, right? So we have BAs, we have PMs, project managers, we have these experience design, sometimes they're user experience, sometimes, I don't know, they call themselves all kinds of things. We have developers, and we have quality analysts, sometimes we call them testers, all different roles that we have. There are other labels that we use in ThoughtWorks, so you might sometimes see different grades that we give to people. So, you know, consultant BA, lead PM, whatever, all these different grades. In new hire emails in Australia, we actually see what the grades are. We see their grades and their roles. Unless they're a principal consultant, then there's no role, maybe because they don't do anything, I don't know. Okay, but that's kind of strange. Why do we do that? Because something that you might know about labels from past experience is that labels can have negative effects, right? When you assign labels to people, there are a whole bunch of different negative things that can happen, and I'd like to call out a few of those. So one is that labels can act kind of like blinders, right? So if I know that, oh, okay, I'm a developer, then I can use that label to sort of limit what I'm thinking about, right? So I just sort of say, oh, I'm a developer. Okay, there's some problem in analysis, but I'll ignore it because I'm just focusing on this, right? I'm just a developer. Jason Yip in Australia sometimes talks about people throwing things over the wall. So if I'm only looking at things in development, I'll do something in development, I'll throw it over the wall to the person in QA, in doing testing. Same thing with the analyst. They might analyze a story and then they throw it over the wall and then it's in development and I take care of it. And that's really bad because things can pile up on the other side of the wall and you don't know about it. The other way that they can be ineffective is that they can be used as barriers, right? So people can say to me, oh, no, don't, there may be a problem here in the testing area, but that's not for you to worry about. You're a developer, I'm a tester, don't worry about it. Or I might say to an analyst, oh, that's a developer thing, don't deal with that. And as a result, there can be ideas in the company that just stagnate because we don't actually act on them, we don't apply them, right? I might have some idea about, oh, here's something that could happen in analysis, but if I don't feel that I can mention it just because my role isn't to be an analyst, then that's a bad thing, right? So that's bad. Now another thing that might be a little controversial, but I'll say it anyway, I think that can cause us to actually lower our standards a bit. Because if I can't tell someone who's an analyst, hey, these are the things that I expect from you, if I can't say the same thing to a QA, if my project manager can't say the same thing to me, if we can't hold each other to account because of these role barriers that we have, then that sucks. And so, get rid of roles, right? Like they're bad. They have all of these negative effects that come with them. And that's something that I actually hate. And I would love to see software teams that didn't have roles at all. I think that might have some things that would be really awesome in there, right? If we didn't have to worry about this. Okay, hang on, but we actually, we have these roles, right? So they must have come from something. There must have been some motivation to have the roles in the first place, right? It can't be that we would just sort of suddenly were like, hey, let's have roles. Here they are on the floor. So we have them for a reason, right? So one reason we might have them is that if we don't actually have any roles, then there can be a bit of confusion about what it is that different people are doing on the team, right? So if something comes up, something new comes up, who's going to handle it, right? If there's some new development issue, who's going to work on that? If there's some problem in analysis, who should be taking care of that, right? If everyone is just doing all the same thing, it can be quite difficult to figure out how we should be organizing ourselves. So assigning different roles to people can give some clarity, right? So if I know that okay, there's a problem in analysis, I don't have to worry that I have to rush over it. I can say, I know the analysts are taking care of that. If they don't, I can get involved, but I know that someone else is going to look at that and I can deal with these problems in development and address those only if they don't go unaddressed. that lets me have more depth in the things that I'm actually dealing with, right? So if I was running around dealing with analysis and testing and managing the project all the time, I wouldn't be able to be a very good developer. I just wouldn't have time to get depth in my area, both in terms of knowledge and in terms of being able to understand the problems that are in my area. And another thing that lets me do is play to my strengths, right? I mean, I am, to be quite modest, a totally awesome developer. And if I am always doing things that aren't development, then okay, I'm good at those things, but I'm awesome at development, and I want to be able to play to my strengths. And when I can do that, I have a lot more fun, right? I enjoy being a developer. I mean, that's why I joined the company as a developer. When I wake up in the morning and I know that I'm going to go to work being a developer, it's sort of like, all right, here we go. I'm off to that workplace where I do fun things. And that's awesome. So I guess in the end, roles actually, I mean, they are good. But I guess what I want to say is, don't hide behind your role. So don't say, oh, I'm an X, so I don't have to deal with that problem. Or don't tell me, oh, Ben, you're a Y, so you can't address that problem. Don't do that. Don't use your role as sort of a shield to stop you from getting involved in things or stop other people from getting involved. Instead, sort of take it and attack problems with it, right? And if we all take our individual roles, we can all sort of attack problems together, and I think we'll have the best sort of combo attack on the problem, and we'll get the best outcomes. So that's my mini role rant.